A deal on Dickens, who could resist? A stack of Austen, warmly kissed. Golden Age crime tales twist and turn, every page a treasure to learn. Books keep coming home with me, piles so tall they're all I see. Turn a page and sail the sea, reading always feels so free.
Hi, my name is Talia. Welcome to Talia Nerds Out. Just want to do a quick video, probably should have done this a while back, regarding the Exploring Public Domain Books Readathon that's going from January through February. It's a brand new Readathon that I am a co-host for. It is the brainchild of my mom, and that's she's under the channel Marlicia's Meanderings. She will be linked in the description below. And the other co-host is Gavin from Genre Books, who will also be tagged in the video below. Gavin talks a lot about public domain books anyway, which is part of what it inspired Mom to start thinking about a lot of the public domain books. And she's provided several sources, I think he has as well, for where you can access public domain books. There's places like LibriVox, which is an app where you can listen to free audiobooks. A lot of them are classics. Project Gutenberg, and I'm sure there's other sources. I haven't really looked very closely in it. I will provide information. We also have a Storygraph challenge, which I created, and I will make sure to link that in the description under this video for anyone who wants to keep track of what they're reading for the Exploring Public Domain Books Readathon. And I went yesterday and I looked at some of the books that are available. And there's actually quite a bit. And you can, if you want to, make it overlap with any of the different alongs that are going on right now. What's nice about it is you can actually go, like, for example, to Project Gutenberg. You can organize things either by reading list suggestions. So like, oh, I want to look at all detective fiction. You can go and look at the detective fiction list. You can also just look at it by, they have like an area where you can have just not just a list like people that they creators of Project Gutenberg created, where they're like, oh, here's some good ones. They also have their you can go to another area where you can look at the collections that they have, the collection books they have there, but you can go, oh, I only want to look at the history books, or oh, I only want to look at the mysteries, whatever the case might be. I mentioned mysteries a lot because that does tend to be where I tended to look, although I did look at other areas just so I can give an idea of what is possibly available to you. Now, I did repost a video that talked about some things that recently became public domain. One of those things is Nancy Drew. So if you wanted to read the first Nancy Drew book, I'm not sure if it's yet up on Project Gutenberg, but it must be out there somewhere. It is now public domain. Some other works that you can find Louisa May Alcott, a lot of her books. I was surprised. I went and looked. Rose and Bloom is there, Little Women, all the different books of Louisa May Alcott. Her hospital sketches, if you want something that's nonfiction of hers. She did some nursing in the Civil War, and these are her sketches. I don't mean drawings, but like sketches with words, like the descriptions of what she saw and experienced while she was a nurse in the Civil War. I haven't yet read it, but I've been wanting to for a while, so I downloaded that and put it in my Project Gutenberg collection on my Kindle. Then you can also find works for Sir Walter Scott, quite a few of them. I ended up downloading a lot of them. Now, I already happen to have a few of his, including Waverley, but you can find Waverley on Project Gutenberg. So even though I happen to be reading Waverley via physical book, it would count for this readathon because it is a public domain book. You can get it that way. So that's the same thing if you happen to own, sorry, I'm getting my bag that I put that in. So that so if you happen to have something like the first Nancy Drew book, then even if you happen to have it physically, don't want to get the Project Gutenberg version or whatever, it would still count because it's a public domain book. Some other things when I was looking up, you can find the works of Anna Catherine Green. I think you can find almost all of her works. And Anna Catherine Green, I've kind of been very proactive in pushing her as an author. I only discovered her fairly recently. And if I'd been paying attention more when I was reading Agatha Christie, I would have discovered her sooner. I was reading a biography about Christie, and it might have even been one of the writing books that I read about Christie, the critical books that, looked at her works critically, where they talked about different authors who were influential for her and that she really liked. And one of those authors was Anna Catherine Green, and the Leavenworth case came up often. And that was Anna Catherine Green's first novel. She's considered the mother of detective fiction, and Leavenworth case came out, I think I've read there was like 5 or 6 years before Sherlock Holmes burst onto the scene. So she actually predates Arthur Conan Doyle and his Sherlock Holmes. I don't want to pull my Leavenworth case out of the bookshelf because I'm going to make a mess if I do so, but I have several of her books because I feel like it's kind of a shame that she's not better known, since she was quite influential as a writer. She was quite famous as a writer. She made quite a good career as a writer. And I believe she was actually a major financial support for her family. She released quite a few mysteries, and I have some of them physical. I now have, I believe, her whole collection on Kindle. So I do recommend checking her out. And she also counts for, just like Louisa May Alcott does, she counts for the Manifest Destiny readathon that's being run by Arion of Bookzelots. Because it's the Manifest Destiny is a year-long readathon that's supposed to kind of be an answer to Victober, but from the American side of things, she wanted to focus on American history, American literature, just anything that is American related from the Victorian era. And I'll try to remember to link her channel as well, so you can check out that information about that readathon as well. Other things that I found for Project Gutenberg, you could find the works of L. Frank Baum. And I've been wanting to read the original Wizard of Oz. I've actually never read it. And what intrigues me is that he apparently wanted to create a kind of folklore, that he really liked the idea of folklore and fairy tales. And I mean, this whole area is my fairy tales and folklore area. So that's intrigued me. And if I end up liking his Wizard of Oz series, because apparently it was a series, I can always give it its rightful place should I choose to do so. The other book that I went and checked out to see, because I was looking at books on my shelf up here, I was like, well, let me see if Ben-Hur is there. You can get Ben-Hur. It doesn't work for any of the readathons I know are going on right now, but that is a classic book that I think a lot of people have on their like TBR, like to, eventually get to. You can find some Agatha Christie on there, not all of her works, quite a bit of Arthur Conan Doyle, at least some of the Father Brown works. So if you're into mysteries, those are 3 really big. You've got Chesterton, Conan Doyle, and Christie. I'm not sure if anything besides Conan Doyle's mysteries are on there. I didn't really look. You can find some Edgar Allan Poe works on there. So Edgar Allan Poe's birthday is January 19th. If you wanted to pick up some short stories and read some of his works for his birthday, there you go. You can find some Wilkie Collins in there. I noticed in particular The Woman in White and The Moonstone. I happen to have a physical form of The Woman in White, but that would count because it is a public domain book. I have back here Arsène Lupin, Gentleman Thief, and he has several books. That is by Maurice Leblanc, another character actually. Arsène Arsène Lupin was mentioned in The Clocks by Poirot as being one of the interesting mystery fiction that his character liked, and Christie was speaking through Poirot. Apparently this was an author and character that she was interested in. So I have it. I've been intending to read it. Haven't done so yet. If I wanted to, I could make a count for this readathon. There are several works by Harriet Beecher Stowe. I believe she has an autobiography there, as well as her famous Uncle Tom's Cabin and other works that she has on there. So she can count for fiction or nonfiction for Manifest Destiny, as well as for Project Gutenberg. I saw several Rudyard Kipling works on there. The Virginians on there. I saw some Zane Grey's on there. Max Brand. So there's quite a large amount, a wide variety of works that you can find on there. I saw quite a bit of folklore and fairy tales on there that I ended up picking up. I found some really interesting titles like Bibliomania in the Middle Ages that I really want to read. Books and their makers during the Middle Ages. Now, you got to remember these are going to be older books because they are public domain. So there probably has been research in these areas since these books have been released that might update what was already there, built upon what was already there. And so some of the history books and the science books in particular might be outdated. But the fiction, not so much. But a book called Old Church Lore. I found a 3-volume series called The Arts and Crafts of Older Spain, which looked interesting. Yeah, there's just, the 39 Steps, which I, a long time ago, watched the movie. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but it was based off of a book. Apparently, also, like, Alexandre Dumas wrote the biography of the Borgias. There's a book called Bluebeard, A Contribution to History and Folklore. So it's a mixture of history and folklore together, which hits both of my interest areas. So I'm kind of intrigued by that one and might find a way to squeeze that in this year, depending on how long of a book it is. So there's just so much available to check out. I highly recommend that you look into Project Gutenberg. I highly recommend that you look at the videos by both my mom at Marlicia's Meanderings and Gavin's channel, Genre Books. They are probably a lot more coherent than I am about this, because this is, yes, I am co-hosting, but they're both probably more involved in like the weeds of what's going on. I just created the Story Graph Challenge and looked up a bunch of books like last night. But yeah, there's so much there that you can check out, and it's all free, which is kind of cool. Yes, later on, if you decide like, oh, I really like this book, I want to have it physical, there's always that option. But it's nice to get introduced to some of these authors that maybe you wouldn't have checked out if you had to pay for them. And I'm going to, again, make another plug for Anna Catherine Green, who, you know, early mystery writer. I think that a lot of people have kind of missed out on her. And it'd be nice to kind of get her a little bit more love and attention than she currently has. But anyway, hope that something here intrigues you, that you'll go check out Project Gutenberg or LibriVox or any of the public domain areas that you can access books and, I don't know, enjoy what's out there for free. So in spite of all of our desires to acquire more books, maybe we can save a little bit of money while we do so and wait to pick up some of the books until we're sure that we actually like them. Anyway, that's it for me. Hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you the next time. Please feel free to put in the comments any books that you are interested in reading for this readathon. Maybe you can think of some titles that I haven't thought of that really are in your wheelhouse and that you'd kind of like to encourage other people to check out from places like Project Gutenberg. Anyway, that's it for me. I will see you the next time. God bless. Bye.
Books keep coming home with me, piles so tall they're all I see. Turn a page and sail the sea. Reading always feels so free.